The missing 10th man. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village called Sunnyville, there lived 9 best friends. Their names were Timmy, Sally, Benny, Lily, Jimmy, Emily, Danny, Molly, and Tommy. They did everything together, from playing games to going on adventures. One sunny morning, the friends gathered at their favorite spot in the village park to plan an exciting picnic. They decided to go to the nearby enchanted forest. The forest was known for its colorful butterflies, sparkling streams, and delicious berries. As they made their plans, Timmy noticed something. "Hey, wait a minute. We're missing someone," he said, counting heads. "There should be 10 of us, but we're only 9. The friends counted again, but it was true. They were missing 1 person. Everyone was puzzled. They knew they had to find their missing friend, so they began searching the village. They checked all their favorite places, but there was no sign of the 10th man. They decided to ask the wise old owl, Ollie, who lived in a tall tree. Ollie had a reputation for solving tricky problems. Ollie listened carefully to their story and thought for a moment. He said, "I believe I know where your missing friend is. You see, the missing 10th man is you." The friends were surprised. "But how can that be?" they asked. Ollie explained, "You are all here, and if you include yourself, there are 10 of you. Sometimes we forget to count ourselves, and that's when we think someone is missing." The friends realized their mistake. They had forgotten to count themselves. They laughed at their silly oversight. With big smiles, they returned to the park and continued planning their picnic. They realized that sometimes the solution to a problem can be very simple, and it's important to include ourselves when counting. From that day on, the friends never forgot to count themselves, and they had many more wonderful adventures together, always remembering the lesson they learned on that sunny day in Sunnyville. Sometimes the missing 10th man is you. The friends' picnic to the enchanted forest turned out to be a day full of laughter, joy, and discovery. They marveled at the beautiful butterflies, played by the sparkling streams, and filled their baskets with the juiciest, sweetest berries they had ever tasted. As they sat under a giant oak tree enjoying their picnic lunch, they shared stories and dreams. They talked about all the adventures they still wanted to have together, and all the places they wanted to explore. During their picnic, they met a kind old wizard named Wilfred, who had a magical crystal ball. Wilfred told them that the bond they shared as friends was indeed magical. He said, "True friendship is a treasure that shines brighter than any magical crystal. As long as you have each other, you will always find the missing piece of your hearts." The friends thanked Wilfred for his wise words and continued their picnic with even more gratitude for their friendship. As the years passed, the friends remained as close as ever. They faced challenges and celebrated successes together. They never forgot the lesson they learned about counting themselves, and they made sure to include each other in everything they did. As the years rolled on, the friends of Sunnyvale grew older and wiser, but their friendship remained as strong as ever. They shared many more adventures and made countless beautiful memories together. One day, as they sat by the same oak tree where they had enjoyed their memorable picnic, they realized that they had grown into a special group known throughout the village for their kindness, unity, and support for one another. Their story of the missing 10th man had become legendary in Sunnyvale. Children listened wide-eyed as the older villagers recounted the tale of how 9 friends had learned a simple but profound lesson about friendship and togetherness. The friends, now all grown up, decided it was time to pass on the story to the younger generation. They wanted to ensure that the lesson of the missing 10th man lived on. They organized a storytelling event in the village square and invited all the children and families to join. One by one, they took turns sharing the story of the missing 10th man, reminding everyone how important it was to include themselves and others in their hearts. The children listened intently, and their eyes sparkled with understanding. After the storytelling event, the children gathered under the same oak tree and planted a sapling as a symbol of their commitment to friendship and unity. They promised to always remember the missing 10th man and to count themselves and their friends in everything they did. As the years passed, the village of Sunnyvale continued to thrive, filled with close-knit families and friends who cherished the values of togetherness and inclusion. The missing 10th man story had become a part of their cultural heritage, a reminder that the simplest lessons could have the most profound impact. And so, in Sunnyvale, where the sun always seemed to shine a little brighter, the legacy of the missing 10th man lived on, teaching each generation the timeless value of friendship and the power of counting themselves and others in. As time went by, the village of Sunnyvale continued to flourish, and its residents held on to the teachings of the missing 10th man story. The simple yet powerful lesson had become a guiding principle in the lives of its people. The friends who had once been children themselves watched with joy as the next generation grew up with a deep understanding of friendship and unity. The bonds between families in Sunnyvale grew even stronger, and the village thrived as a close-knit community where everyone looked out for one another. The missing 10th man story had an impact beyond the borders of Sunnyvale as well. Travelers passing through the village would often hear the tale and carry its wisdom with them to other places. The story inspired people far and wide to appreciate the importance of including themselves and others, not just in numbers, but in hearts. Over time, the village park had grown into a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers, a testament to the beauty of unity and cooperation. The oak tree under which the friends had shared their picnic now stood tall and wise, a symbol of the enduring strength of their friendship. One day, a group of strangers arrived in Sunnyvale. They had heard about the missing 10th man story and wanted to experience the warmth and camaraderie of the village for themselves. The villagers welcomed them with open arms, sharing their stories and traditions, including the tale of the missing 10th man. The strangers were deeply moved by the story and the sense of community they found in Sunnyvale. They decided to stay in the village, becoming part of the ever-growing circle of friends who valued each other and counted themselves as the missing 10th man. And so, the village of Sunnyvale continued to flourish, spreading its message of friendship and unity to all who visited and, in turn, to the wider world. The missing 10th man story became a beacon of hope and a reminder that, in a world that sometimes felt divided, there was always room for inclusion, kindness, and togetherness. And as the sun set over Sunnyvale, casting a warm, golden glow over the village, its residents knew that the legacy of the missing 10th man would endure for generations to come, inspiring countless hearts and bringing people closer together. As the years passed, Sunnyvale's reputation as a place of friendship and unity continued to grow. People from nearby villages and towns heard about the missing 10th man story, and they came to visit, hoping to experience the magic of Sunnyvale for themselves. The village became a hub of learning and sharing. Visitors brought with them their own stories and traditions, creating a rich tapestry of cultures and backgrounds. The villagers of Sunnyvale eagerly welcomed these new friends, and together they shared their stories, wisdom, and laughter. The missing 10th man story became a symbol of hope and understanding in a world that sometimes felt divided. People from all walks of life were inspired to include themselves and others, not just in numbers, but in the spirit of unity and kindness. Sunnyvale's garden continued to bloom with even more vibrant colors, reflecting the diversity of its residents and visitors. The oak tree under which the friends had shared their picnic now bore a plaque that read, "In the spirit of the missing 10th man, we find strength in unity." The village had become a shining example of what could be achieved when people came together, celebrated their differences, and counted themselves as part of a greater whole. One sunny day, as the villagers gathered for a grand celebration, a rainbow appeared in the sky, stretching from one end of Sunnyvale to the other. It was a symbol of the village's diversity and the harmony that had been achieved through the lessons of the missing 10th man. Sunnyvale's reputation continued to grow, and it became a place of peace and understanding in a world that sorely needed it. People from distant lands traveled to Sunnyvale to learn about its way of life, and they left with their hearts filled with the spirit of unity and friendship. And so, the legacy of the missing 10th man lived on, not just in Sunnyvale, but in the hearts of people around the world. The simple yet profound lesson of inclusion and togetherness continued to inspire countless individuals and communities to come together and make the world a better place. As the sun set over Sunnyvale, casting a warm, golden glow over the village and its colorful garden, the villagers knew that their story was far from over. They would continue to spread the message of friendship, unity, and the missing 10th man for generations to come. And so, the legacy of Sunnyvale and the missing 10th man story continued to inspire people far and wide. The village became a symbol of hope, a place where differences were celebrated and unity was cherished. Over the years, Sunnyvale became known as the Village of Unity. It hosted annual festivals where people from all corners of the world gathered to share their stories, music, and traditions. These festivals were a testament to the power of friendship and the importance of counting oneself and others in. The children of Sunnyvale grew up hearing the story of the missing 10th man from their parents and grandparents. It became a cherished bedtime tale, a reminder that, no matter how big or small, everyone had a place in their hearts. As time went on, the world around Sunnyvale began to change. Other communities and cities learned from Sunnyvale's example and started their own initiatives to promote unity and friendship. The missing 10th man story became a global symbol of inclusivity and compassion. One day, a young girl named Mia, who had heard about Sunnyvale and the missing 10th man story, decided to visit the village. She was deeply moved by the warmth and acceptance she found there. Mia spent her days in Sunnyvale, learning from its residents and sharing her own experiences with them. Mia had a dream. She wanted to create a worldwide movement based on the principles of the missing 10th man. She believed that if people everywhere embraced the idea of counting themselves and others in, the world could become a better place. With the support of the villagers of Sunnyvale and people from all over the world who had been touched by the story, Mia's dream became a reality. The Count Me In movement spread to every corner of the globe, promoting unity, friendship, and the simple yet profound idea that inclusion could change the world. Years passed, and Mia's movement grew stronger, bringing people together and breaking down barriers. The missing 10th man story became a symbol of a brighter future, a reminder that by counting ourselves and others in, we could create a world filled with love, compassion, and understanding. As the sun set over Sunnyvale, casting a warm, golden glow over the village and its diverse garden, the villagers knew that their story had inspired a new generation of changemakers. They watched with pride as the world embraced the message of the missing 10th man and worked together to make the world a better place. And they all lived happily ever after, knowing that their story had ignited a spark of hope and unity that would shine brightly for generations to come. The end.